When you want to bend artwork like this money bill here, then you have envelopes or you have the puppet warp tool, but some bending still could be quite difficult. So we are going to take a look at yet another method. Hello and welcome to the Vector Garden. Welcome to a round of very special bending and distorting. I'm going to select these two artworks here, these two, and copy them, and let's make a new file and paste them in. So first of all, let's talk about the creation of that base artwork. And for that, I'm going to select this one because that's a raster image. And let's go to image trace like this. Let's do it like this here. And we have 5 colors, which sounds reasonable. I'm going to ignore white. And then let's expand that. And if you create artwork like that, then what you get is this. The shapes are neighboring each other precisely. So let's undo this and undo again. Now there's a method to prevent that from happening by selecting this method here, and then let's expand this. And you see what's happening then is you get stacked artwork, which is better for this. Even better would be to create that using shapes drawn from the start. So this is pretty simple. It's a rectangle, rounded corners, and some circles on top. That's the most precise method. But what's important is the overlapping, because when using that method, then things can get distorted so much that you get tiny gaps inside. Now, in order to do it, I'm going to select this, and let's open the symbols panel and drag it inside and make a symbol. I'm going to call that money. All the options inside don't matter at all. So now, in order to distort it, what we need are some shapes. So I'm going to create an ellipse, and let's delete the left point so that we get a half circle. And then let's also draw some wavy things, and let's switch fill and stroke. What's important here, these all need to be smooth points. So I'm going to smooth them afterwards. I'm just going to the smooth slider like this and make it look nicer. And you see we have fewer anchor points on that. You cannot have corner points here. That will not work. And I'm going to make another one. Okay, let's make some bigger strokes here, and let's move these to the side. And now what we're going to do is, let's first start with this one. Go to Effect, 3D and Materials, and 3D Classic. Classic is important here. And then let's go to Revolve. This is going to be a globe, and Map Art. So we have one surface, we can put the money on it, and then just scale that. Invisible geometry, and you see where this is heading. And now we can take this and rotate it. And then you see we can distort it any way we want. And you see we are looking at the back here. And at the back there is a dark green rectangle, but we don't see it here. That's magic. I cannot explain that. So it's nice that it works this way. So you can go in here again, and you can even rotate that to get more distortion. And you can of course use the perspective slider, so to make it pretty nice. Then we've got these, because we have other needs maybe, and this as well can be revolved, and you get a kind of different shape. And still you can map art to that. And let's check this out. And this is the reason why there shouldn't be any corner points, because then you get another surface. Let's see if we can also get the outside. This is here, so let's map the money on it. And again, you can rotate it to get different kinds of distortions. Invisible geometry like this. And then again, you can rotate that any way you want, and you've got your distortion. And this one as well. Let's take a look at the extrusion, because you can use that as well, of course. So let's extrude that kind of longer, and let's rotate that like this, and go to Map Art, and let's see where we can map it. So you see here the points are extreme, so we do not get a single surface, and that could perhaps be repaired by editing the anchor points. Let's first put this on it. So like this, and I'm going to make it like so. And then let's see if we can edit that point. And you see the bill flips around all around these surfaces. So by editing, maybe you can make it work. Sometimes you cannot. And also what can play a role is, as you see, the rotation of this on the artboard. So let's go in it again. I'm going to the appearance panel and go into map art, and let's see what kind of surfaces we currently have. So the other one didn't work. We can delete it from there. And there you see we've got a bigger one. And let's put the money on it like this. And you see there we've got our distortion. And again, we can use the perspective slider and see you get this. So that's how you can distort the money. Let's take a look at the other file again, because when you zoom in here, you see that still it might not work in the details. So you have to always watch the details. Sometimes the distortion gets so extreme that Illustrator can only do it by cutting this apart.